Is California wasting its water? That's one of the top questions that we are answering all this week on To The Point. The ABC10 Weather Team is investigating where our water is going and if we're wasting it. Tonight, meteorologist Brenden Mincheff looks at the controversial Delta Tunnel project.
A battle is underway in the Sacramento-San Joaquin Delta.
This is the source of water for the state and federal water projects, also the Bay Area, and all the communities in the Delta, and all the farms that exist across 700,000 acres.
For decades, Delta residents and the state have been unable to agree on a plan to transport water from the rainy but rural northern half of the state to the heavily populated but dry southern half. To improve water delivery and reliability, the state's Delta Conveyance Project aims to build a tunnel underneath of the Delta. Former Governor Jerry Brown proposed 2 tunnels. Current Governor Gavin Newsom has narrowed it down to 1. But to understand this project's significance and the controversy, we first need to look at the Delta itself. Water from across Northern California, from the Sacramento River to Sierra Snowmelt to the San Joaquin River, flows into the Delta on its way out to San Francisco Bay and the Pacific. The Delta is home to numerous species found nowhere else. It's an important stopover on the Pacific Flyway, and it's also become a fertile agricultural region.
About 75% of the land in the Delta is used for agriculture. Every crop from tomatoes to grapes, triticale and potatoes and corn, rice, and everything in between.
This poses a problem for all of California, as well as all those that depend on California-grown food.
This is really the hub of our water deliveries.
Right now, water transported from the Delta happens via pumping into the California Aqueduct, which runs roughly parallel to Interstate 5. But the current system was built in the mid-1900s to handle a population and climate that doesn't exist today.
It was designed to manage a different type of precipitation. We don't know exactly what will happen with climate change, but it's pretty clear that we're going to have more rain falling in the winter as opposed to snow that will then melt in the spring. The reservoirs are really designed for that spring runoff.
This takes us back to where we began. Under the direction of the Department of Water Resources, the state's plan to address these issues and future-proof California's water is to build a tunnel, larger than the English Channel Tunnel, underneath the Delta.
This year, if we had been able to have the Delta Conveyance Project online in January, we would have captured another 228,000 acre-feet of water, and that's enough to feed about 2.3 million people, or about 800,000 households.
First off, they really couldn't have moved extra water this year because there was no place to put the water.
Restore the Delta has been an outspoken critic of the tunnel project from the beginning.
It's really sad. Restore the Delta was really earnest when it went and participated with the Design Construction Authority for 2 years. We didn't like the project, but we figured, okay, we're going to sit at a table for 2 years. We're going to explain our water quality concerns around harmful algal blooms, salinity. We're going to explain our concerns around air pollution during construction. Those were the big pieces for us, and they weren't addressed.
Graham Bradner works with the Delta Conveyance Design and Construction Authority, or DCA.
So we have a singular mission, which is to design and build a project should DWR decide to proceed with one.
The DCA is a pseudo-state office funded and run by the 18 public water agencies that would directly benefit from the construction of a tunnel. The key players within the DCA are the Santa Clara Valley Water District and, unsurprisingly, the Metropolitan Water District of Southern California.
We did right from the beginning of our conceptual design process, engage local communities through a stakeholder engagement committee. Our mission with that committee was to look for ways to reduce design and construction effects to communities and environment within the Delta. Our plan would be for the future phases during design and then construction to re-engage with community groups, establish committees where folks could continue to be involved in the process, and would really hope to have inclusion.
We went through the scoping meetings where you couldn't give proper community impact. You could give your reports to a recorder. So sure, they held X amount of meetings, but if they don't listen, if they don't answer your questions, and they never take your concerns seriously, is that really meaningful engagement? We don't think so.
When asked if the Delta communities that the DCA has engaged with have been supportive, Graham admitted they have not been.
Oh no, I mean, none of the folks who participated in the stakeholder engagement committee are really supportive of the project. That wasn't the objective. The objective was to give everyone in the community an opportunity to be part of the concept design phase.
The proposal is that it would only operate at times that the Sacramento River is higher or at times that there aren't fish present during the summer.
The California State Auditor released a report in May 2023 that said the Department of Water Resources has, quote, made only limited progress in accounting for the effects of climate change in its forecasts of the water supply and in its planning for the operation of the State Water Project. It goes on to say that until DWR makes more progress and uses better data, DWR will be less prepared than it could be to effectively manage the state's water resources in the face of more extreme climate conditions. The timeline for a complete and functioning delta, should it be built, is at the very earliest a decade or two away. And by then, will it even still be relevant?
No, it's not. We're going to have to do everything else first. It's sad for us. We don't want to be spending time on this any longer. We've done this for years. We're working on other projects. We're doing water quality testing. We're working on floodplain restoration projects. We're training the next generation. But we will stand up and we will force them to do things the right way because it's all at stake for California.
The world is watching us here, that if we fail to meet these challenges, we will fail in a way that sends a despairing message to all Californians and those well beyond.
Meteorologist Brenden Mincheff joins me right now. A lot of different interests at play here, but what is really at stake?
I mean, honestly, what's at stake, Alex, is the water in California for all of us, from north to south. We all rely on water that falls in the northern part of the state. It is the rainiest part of the state, and 75% of California's population is south of Sacramento. So we have to have a way to move that water. Now, water fuels our economy. It fuels our way of life, whether we're farmers or just everyday citizens with a 9 to 5. What's really important, though, the state says, is this safeguards against climate change, Alex, and it just protects us against earthquakes and whatever the future may hold for water in California.
All right, thank you, Brenden. And I want to mention that the Weather Team's water wasted investigation will air in its entirety right here tomorrow night at 6:30 on To The Point.